What's up, everybody? It's me, Stevie, Supersmallchibiwolf, Supersmallchibiwolf, and today I'm going to be talking about the unfortunate concern of a all digital future. So let's get into this. First thing I want to talk about is refunds and all that stuff. For example, nowadays, if you want to go buy a game, you go to the store, you buy or you order, and you get like a physical copy. If that game sucks, you could sell it and get your money back, or you could just sell it or trade it with someone for another game, or etc. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when you get a all digital game, whether it's Nintendo, Sony, etc., many of these companies don't get full refunds, and many of these companies don't even take the game away or anything. You know what I mean? It's just there. You know what I mean? And you gotta live with it. So that's a very unfortunate thing to have. You know what I mean? I think it's that's my biggest issue with anything like digital wise. And yeah, now I would say, one great thing to do, and then, emulation is pretty cool. You test out the game before buying. So that's a little advice I would recommend. But yeah, the no refund stuff with all digital stuff, it's just annoying. It's annoyance. So seeing many of these companies saying a all digital future and stuff, I'm like, oh no. This is gonna be awful, man. This is different. Look, you could get an idea how a game is when you're watching gameplay and stuff, but when you actually, play a game, that's when you get the feel of it. It's pretty cool, pretty chill. So that's another thing that comes to my mind when I think about this topic of the no refunds and stuff. Because say if a game looks amazing and cool in the trailer and some gameplay here and there, and then you actually play it and it's just a janky mess, just sucks. That's just a waste of money and time. So that's my biggest concern is the no refund policy, or just such limited, and it's just awful, you know what I mean? So yeah. Next is, I feel like, no, this is a fact, many times if you don't, what was it? Because when you have a physical copy, you could sell it, do anything you want, you know what I mean? But when you have a digital one, that could be taken away. You know what I mean? Say, for example, you playing a game and unfortunately you playing with a hacker, and unfortunately, boom, they mess with your stuff, and there's a situation with your account, right? Is the main purpose. You will create a new PlayStation, Nintendo, etc. account. Guess what? That digital library isn't going to transfer. You know what I mean? Well, when you have the physical stuff, you could easily just download it and boom, there you go. And so that's another thing, and I've seen many times that, throughout the years and generations, that a lot of companies stop supporting stuff or games and services, and then we see hackers join in and then ruin us experience. For example, a lot of PS3 online multiplayer games come to mind. That's where you can find a lot of the hackers, from what I remember. And it's, some of them, make it funny. They do some stupid, funny stuff. But many times, it's the concerning issue of, oh man, this person's going to get pissed, start ruining the experience of the game, using hacks, using invisible stuff, all that stuff. And then next thing you know, the game that you wanted to play and enjoy is being manipulated and hacked into, and that's just awful. You know what I mean? And many times companies, like for example, recently, I believe it was Sony and two other companies that was recently hacked and taken down on, the servers were taken down, and it's really awful and concerning to see, we live in 2026, yet these companies don't even know how to handle their own products in this way, so this doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Even in the 2010s, they had good stuff. They were getting hacked and shit still back then, but many other companies, they were doing pretty good. They weren't being servers down all the time and whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just awful seeing hearing this all digital future, yet they can't even handle what the hell they're doing these days. You know what I mean? And it's awful. And it's a real big concern, say if you, and I think this is the biggest concern, because a lot of people, think about it, right? So online subscriptions, digital games, and say the hackles, right? All three of that. That's basically what the future of gaming is going to be, based around. People are going to be, because companies are going to stop physical media, so they go all digital. Subscription fees, because you had to apparently fucking pay for all this bullshit sometimes. Me, I just get bored and just be like, okay, I think I could play offline for a few months, and then, say if you have a good library and stuff, you get hacked, boom, your account's locked out, or some craziness happens, boom, guess what? It's all gone. While you have the physical, download it, play it, enjoy it. And yeah, there's a lot of things about this modern game that I don't understand, Like, for example, how the hell are you going to release a product and it's not even completed? Gaming, I said this in the past and I'm going to say it again, gaming is the only industry of entertainment or at all that gets a pass. And apparently the whole community gives it to them, Think about it. Imagine if Toyota comes out with a car that's broken and, janky and stuff, and then, that's going to be taken serious. You know what I mean? And say phone companies too, if Sony releases a phone compared to a PlayStation, the PlayStation comes out fucked up and they just say, oh, we'll update in a week or so, a few days. While, that phone, that you actually, use that phone, work, etc. But, and look, gaming devices, that's fun time and all, but still, that's hard work and money put into a product. You know what I mean? I don't know, that's just how I see it. So seeing how these companies handle the situations and other things is really concerning me for the future of gaming, because me personally, I enjoy gaming, I see the PS5 and I think, and I'm like, Silent Hill F and Resident Evil 9 Requiem and Tekken 8, The King of Fighters 15, my favorite games on that console. I could have easily gotten that and waited for the Switch 2, which surprisingly doesn't have Silent Hill F. What the fuck, Nintendo? And Konami. If Switch 2 has Silent Hill F, The King of Fighters 15, and Tekken 8, hey man, that's all I need. Boom. I'm getting it right away, And I feel when it comes down to it, a lot of these companies really have weird priorities, especially Saudi, seeing what they've been doing. They've been out of a fucking parade of just trying to fuck shit up for themselves. You know what I mean? It's very interesting to see how fucking crazy. It kind of reminds me of in the animes, you have that one yandere character that just likes to fuck shit up. You know what I mean? To the point of the fuck are you even doing? You know what I mean? So Sony's in their yandere phase. Nintendo is, I don't even know what the fuck. Nintendo's Nintendo, and they have little sundays over there, whatever, with how they handle in Pokemon and stuff. But yeah, it's very crazy, yo. So yeah, another thing that I want to talk about is, Sony, related to that too, and the shutdown and stuff. If Sony could easily have their networks or whatever shut down for, what was it, a week? I heard people say. I haven't been playing games these days, or a week or two. I've been busy. I've been going out. I went to the mall a few times. It's been pretty cool, pretty chill, Met a few chicks, really nice, And I was like, you know what? It's funny enough, they also are Nintendo fans. But funny enough, besides that, yeah, I was having conversations relating to games as well, so that's why I brought that up. And we came up with this point, hey, yo, a few conversations had was damn, it's unfortunate how, Nintendo and the Pokemon company isn't really producing, special Pokemon games that is, really top tier anymore. They just released, they expected to do okay for fans to accept this broken garbage, and next thing you know, a little update, boom, it's good. Now, and that's just so lazy, and just what is going on with these companies, And the Pokemon games are the only types of games that come out broken and weird and stuff. We have many examples, and we've seen many examples of that. But unfortunately, such a wonderful, huge franchise like Pokemon being affected in this way, it's very concerning. And come on, man, what are you people really doing over there? Take your job serious, stop being lazy, have fun, boom, make fun games and stuff, So, yeah, there's just a lot of things that I wanted to talk about relating to this whole situations relating to gaming and stuff. So, yeah. Now, there's another issue that I want to talk about, which is also concerning, and relating to these, prices and all that, is that many companies, except Nintendo, because Nintendo is still $20 for 1 year, so that's amazing and cool. And their games are more fun, and they have actual first-party games that are fun and exciting, and online mode, and they just have all. Look, Nintendo has their fucking stupidity. How do you not have voice chat like PlayStation has it within its console? How does the Switch 2 not, dude, there's so much things that I'm like, yo, really? You can't even live stream from a Switch 2 console. That's fucking... A PS4 from 2013 could do it. A fucking phone from 2012 could live stream from the phone itself. But a Switch 2 can't? Look, Nintendo has their fair share of fuck-ups, But I see, like, other companies, and I'm like, what is even going on here? We could talk about this for hours. Like, Square Enix with the Final Fantasy. Really, your main franchise? You fucking that up? Like, shit, man, you have one job. Damn. And then it's just chaotic, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it really is like a serious situation, which is concerning, So, yeah, with all that being there, let me know what you all think. I just felt like rambling. I felt like getting this out, man. I see this and I'm like, because, usually I've been, doing my other stuff, right? Not a lot of gaming and stuff. So when I was like, one day I was just chilling, playing the guitar and having fun. And then next thing I know, I was like, I need to fix that I need to fix that PS3. And then I was like, yo, oh wait, PS4, boom. And, the 5 was just over there doing whatever, waiting to be played Tekken, the King of Fighters 15, or Silent Hill Left for the 7th time. And yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I'm just round this all up and make it into a video. So let me know what you all think. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye.